My name is Safa and I'm 10 years old. My name is Olivia and I'm 11 years old. I learned how to program an EV3 robot and how to build a robot.
I learned the difference between electronic and electric.
The static parts of our robot are the beams, the pegs, and the bushings. The dynamic parts are the axle, the wheels, and the drill. And the electronic parts are the motor, and the sensors, and the EV3.
Okay, so the static parts of our conveyor belt are the beams, the pegs, and the Lego bricks and bushings. And the dynamic parts are the conveyor belt, the axles, and the little gears in the conveyor belt. And the electronic parts on the conveyor belt are the sensor and the motors and the EV3. So,
Our program for the robot, and the robot goes forward until it senses the bricks and then it starts drilling.
our program for the conveyor belt, so if it senses a dirt block, then it will sort of swing it away, I guess. And if it senses a diamond block, then it won't do anything and just go forward. We're going to run the program, so yeah. Any questions?
How long did it take you to build the conveyor belt?
I think the robot took like 3 days, maybe.
The conveyor belt took like 1 day probably. Any other questions? Gabe?
What was the hardest part to build on the conveyor belt?
Yeah, I think it was the arch with the sensor on top of it. The sensor kept on swinging forward, so we had to somehow secure that with a bunch of bushings. Yeah.
So during the camp and you're building this, what do you think this could be a real world example of? I asked the hard questions.
I don't really know.
Maybe building a robot that can sort things.
Yeah.